Hey guys, my name is Merlinsyoshi, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made a bass off of my new song, Pigeon, which is out April 26th with my Constant Thinking album. Let's see that little sound. Could you guess which sound it was? It's pretty easy this time. I won't even beat around the bush. It's this one. So this sound's actually two different sounds on top of each other. Actually, no, they're exactly the same sound, different notes. So you can see how they can harmonize together. And that's that. So for post-processing on these sounds, I don't have much. For Maximus, I've just got some stereo shaping and compression, pretty hard compression on the bass, and then some delay, which is just, you already know. It's a robot effect, just time really low, volume a little bit. And then some EQ, and we'll turn those guys off. And we'll just listen to the low part, because the sounds, again, are exactly the same, just different notes. So that's what it sounds like without the post-processing. And then we've got this guy. Not too much going on in here, just a little bit. So we have oscillator A putting a saw wave out, and that's an octave lower than usual. The volume is being modulated by LFO 2. Same for oscillator B when we turn it on. It's just the same thing, an octave higher. Gives it some thickness. Then we move over to the high pass. The high pass is being modulated by LFO 2. The frequency is, at least. I'm not even using the peak in this guy. High resonance. And as you can see, LFO 1 is also modulating this guy. So as time goes on throughout 2 bars, the affected range for this modulation becomes higher and higher through the frequency spectrum. As you can hear, it's kind of moves up. I can't really describe it too well. It's the thinning out at the end of the sound, pretty much. It's easier to see when the distortion's on it. So that's what we'll move on to next, after the EQ, of course. Whoops. And then we turn the EQ on. It's got this little notch-like shape, and it's being affected by LFO 2. Excuse me. And that is pushing it like this. And then the same thing with LFO 1. This time it's just moving it further down the frequency range as time goes on. So kind of moving against this guy, but nonetheless, here's the distortion. You already know. Man, that really crunches it up. And it brings out the vocal properties of this filter and this filter acting together. And then, of course, some classic serum compression. And now, for hyperdimension, I actually kept the mix up this time, and dimension, smaller room, and then higher mix as per usual. Really softens up the high end, in my opinion. And then the only other thing that I can talk about is the separate sub, I suppose, and it's just harmonizing it. So for this one, I wanted the bass to have a little bit of a lead line to it, but I liked the harmony a bit better than it being by itself, so this is just literally harmony in thirds, and it's just an octave away and then a third, major or minor depending on which note it is in the scale. And then we move on to EQ, boosting about 1K, and then keeping it basically the same except for a little dip at 200. And then next but not least, the delay. It's not really doing much, but it's giving it that little bit of a tail end that I really like. And then Maximus. So we've got some pretty hard compression on the low. And that's doing that. We're merging the low like about 45%, just so we can have a good foundation for where the sound is in the sound field. And same for the mids and a little bit for the highs as well. That hyper dimension really widens the sound out, but that can be detrimental, in my opinion. And that's pretty much the whole sound. I mean, there's not really too much to it. Yeah. I'll have the sound in the description for you guys to pick up if you want it, of course. But that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Also, don't forget to check out my album April 26th. It's coming your way. Be ready.